Hiring managers, let's talk about that plug and play candidate. Lots of times a hiring manager will reach out to a recruiter and say, for this opening, I really want that plug and play candidate. If you can find somebody that's from a direct competitor that all they have to do is learn our products, that will be great. Of course, that will be great. Or will it? So here's the challenge with the plug and play candidates. And it's not a complaint necessarily that, oh, this is hard to find, but here's the reality. If you want that plug and play candidate, it is likely that so does another company. And candidates know this. If they have the contacts, the specific background experience, they have leverage. So that means they can easily then get plucked away by another company. So maybe they get excited and come on board with your company, but then what happens 6 to 12 months later when another company says, I want that candidate, here's $10,000 on top of your salary to come play with us. What about instead, oh, actually, I've got another point that I want to make there on that. Also, with your plug and play candidates, the reason why it's such a challenge to find that is because there are so few, and they have to also want to leave for a good reason. So if they're ready to jump ship because you're going to pay a slightly higher salary, well, then they're also likely to be ready to jump ship when somebody else wants to do that for them. And so when a candidate is choosing to make a move, the reason that they are choosing to make that move is, I'm going to say, even more important than the actual move itself. Because if their why doesn't really make sense with their what, then that's probably going to result in quick turnover. Sometimes I'll speak with a candidate and maybe they've got the background experience, but something is feeling a bit off to me. And it is sometimes that their reason is not making sense to me. I spoke with a candidate recently who had just been in his role for a year, maybe a year and a half, and he hadn't been in his previous role that long either. And now he was actively looking because he wanted to relocate 30 minutes closer to where he was going to be moving. So you're going to change jobs for 30 minutes to shorten your commute by 30 minutes. Something isn't quite right there. So this is just an example of what I mean when the reason, the why, is very important. And so not only if you're looking for that plug and play candidate, are you trying, or anytime you're searching for a candidate, yes, you're looking to find the experience, the right cultural kind of fit, the performance, documented success metrics, all of that, but also why are they looking, or why are they entertaining this opportunity? Because if the why doesn't make sense, then that tells me that this candidate doesn't know how to prioritize what is meaningful to them. And that's going to result in a challenge, and because it's likely going to result in turnover. So yes, while it can be good to have that plug and play candidate, number one, other companies know that too, and so does the candidate. So if they jump to you for not a good reason, jump to join your company for not a good reason, they can easily jump to join another company, and then you are right back where you started. And then also, their motivator needs to make sense. If it doesn't make sense, it's not going to be that great getting that plug and play candidate, because you might get them, plug them in, and they might play, but they might only play for a year. And you want somebody who's going to join your company for the right reasons, so that they are there long term. And that way you've got a successful hire, a lasting hire. What I recommend to also consider, so yes, if you want that plug and play candidate, let your recruiter know so that they can search for specifically exactly what you want. But then also, hopefully if they're a good recruiter, they're going to go a little bit outside of that box and also present candidates that check some of the boxes and not all. And the reason why these candidates are often the best candidates is because they're the ones that really want your opportunity, and they're not going to jump ship, and they're going to prove themselves throughout the interview process. So just a little encouragement to keep an open mind to candidates that check some of the boxes, but not all. Happy hiring.